Shalom, shalom. First off, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, by Hashem Kakodash. It's all honor and glory to the Most High God, through His Son, who the world inwardly called Jesus Christ, and of course the Holy Spirit, man. Right? So we back at it again, right? Lord willing, I'm just coming to clear up any misunderstandings, or a few, not any, a few misunderstandings, or a few things that may be confusing unto brothers and sisters in the precepts, coming fresh in from Christianity, or coming in from a camp or a doctrine that is not conducive to what the precepts teach, man. Right? So the first thing that I want to bring out, Shalaki, right, would be clearing up some of Paul's letters and epistles, man. Right? Clearing up the understanding behind some of Paul's letters and epistles. Right? Because literally a lot of times people get jammed up dealing with Paul's letters, dealing with the epistles, dealing with certain things that are in the text, certain words, strangers, foreigners, Gentiles. Who are the strangers? Who are the foreigners? Who are the Gentiles, man? Right? Let's deal with that. Let's deal with who are the strangers, the foreigners, and the Gentiles. Right? Let's go to it. Let's go to first. Let's deal with Peter. Right? Let's go to the book of First Peter. All right? Who are the strangers? Who are the foreigners? Who are the Gentiles? It's the book of First Peter, chapter 1 and verse 1. It says, Peter, an apostle of Yahweh Shah Mashiach, to the strangers scattered throughout Pontus, Galatia, Cappadocia, Asia, Bithynia, elect according to the foreknowledge of the Most High, the Father, through sanctification of the Spirit, unto the obedience and sprinkling of blood of Yahweh Shah Mashiach. Grace unto you and peace be multiplied. Right? It says to the strangers that are elect. Right? So who are the elect according to the scriptures? Let's go to the book of Isaiah. Right? Just because you see the term stranger doesn't mean that they're an actual stranger. It doesn't mean that they're literally not an Israelite, man. That's not what it means. Right? And a lot of times people get caught up by these words and they tend to believe that these things literally mean that they're all of a sudden not an Israelite. That is all of a sudden another nation, man. That's not the case. Right? It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 45. Right? It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 45, and verse 4. It says, For Jacob my servant's sake, and Israel mine elect, I have even called thee by thy name, I have surnamed thee, thou hast not known me. Right? So it says Israel my elect. So when Peter's talking to these strangers are literally what? Elect, man. And the elect are who? Israelites, man. Right? Let's go to the law in the book of Leviticus. Right? Chapter 25. Right? And we're not going to be able to clear up everything right now. This is going to be a quick video. And Lord willing, I'll do a part 2. Right? If not today, tomorrow, or if not tomorrow at some point, through the Spirit, Lord willing. Right? Let's go to the book of Leviticus, chapter 25. Right? It's the book of Leviticus, chapter 25, and verse number, bear with me, verse number 23. And it says, the land shall not be sold forever, for the land is mine, for ye are strangers and sojourners with me. Right? And I'm going to keep reading on. And in all the land of your possessions ye shall grant a redemption for the land. If thy brother be waxing poor, and have sold away some of his possessions, and if any of his kin come to redeem it, then shall he redeem that which the brother have sold. Now, the context of this is a stranger, right? And it's talking about if your brother be waxing poor, right? Now, let's read on. Let's jump down to verse number 35. It says what? This is Leviticus chapter 25 and verse 35. It says, And if thy brother be waxing poor, and fallen in decay with thee, then shalt thou receive him, yea, though he be a stranger or a sojourner, that he may live with thee. Right? So this is showing you playing upon tables that the Israelites are known as strangers and sojourners as well. Right? So when Peter is writing this epistle and he's talking about to the strangers, these strangers he's referring to are people that have been estranged from the land. They're no longer in the land. They've been sojourning somewhere else, man. Right? Maybe they're sojourning in Greece, right? Maybe they're sojourning in Rome, man. Hey, maybe they're sojourning in America, man. Right? They're sojourning in other various lands. Right? They're not damn some other nation, man. Right? They're just strangers because they've been estranged from their land. Hey, we're strangers, man. We've been estranged from Israel. Most of us have never been back into our land, man. Most of us won't see our land until Yahweh comes to crash the skies and places us back in our land. So we would be strangers, right? Let's get another precept. Let's go to the book of Acts, chapter 7, right? And then we'll move on to another point, right? Let's go to the book of Acts. It's the book of Acts, chapter 7, right? In verse number, I'm starting at verse number 2. And he said, men, brethren, and fathers, hearken. The power of the glory appeared unto our father Abraham when he was in Mesopotamia before he dwelt in Haran, and said unto him, get thee out of thy country and of thy kindred, and come into the land which I shall show thee. Then came he out of the land of the Chaldeans and dwelt in Haran. And from thence, when his father was dead, he removed him into the land wherein now ye dwell. And he gave him none inheritance, and no, not so much as yet set a foot. Yet he promised that he would give it, and to set him for a possession and a seed after him, when as yet he had no child. Right? And Yahweh spake on this wise, that his seed should sojourn in a strange land, and that they should bring them into bondage and entreat them evil 400 years. So what? The Israelites were in a strange land, so they were strangers sojourning in Egypt, man. So these sojourners, these strangers, man, right, literally are what? These strangers and sojourners are Israelites, man. That's who they are. These strangers and these sojourners are Israelites. So when you see this term, it's not always dealing with another nation. We got to understand the context of what's being spoken. We got to understand what's really going on, right? So Lord willing, that covers that. That helps brothers and sisters to better understand First Peter, right? 1:1, knowing that the book of Peter, the book that Peter wrote, was literally what? To Israelites, man, that was scattered in these very different places, right? Let's get another one. Let's go to another place, another misconception. Let's go to the book of Exodus, right? Exodus chapter 12. It's the book of Exodus. This is a big one right here, too. It's the book of Exodus, right? Chapter 12 and verse number 37. And the children of Israel shall join from Ramses to Succoth about 600,000 on foot that were men, besides children. And a mixed multitude went up also with them, and the flocks and the herds, even very much cattle. Right? Now, this is a lot of times people bring this mixed multitude up, trying to say, oh, and the Lord saved the mixed multitude, and the Lord saved the mixed multitude. Well, that's madness, man. First of all, you gotta know who. First of all, we don't even know if this mixed multitude is meaning that there's other nations. There's a lot of ways that this could be referred to as mixed multitude. It could be what? It could be women that literally had children by Egyptians while they're in Egyptian captivity. It could be men that literally lay with the mixed multitude of nations that were mixed in the time of our Egyptian captivity. There's a lot of ways. There's a lot of ways to look at this. It's not as simple as just saying, "Oh, well, everybody left." No, no, the Lord didn't save everybody, and we can prove that. He only saved one nation out of Egypt. Only one nation left the wilderness, man. Right? Let's get that. Let's go to the book of Exodus, chapter 3. Right? It's the book of Exodus, chapter 3, right? And verse number 2. Well, let me jump down. Let's go to verse number 6. It says, moreover, he said, I am the most high, the power of thy father, the power of Abraham, the power of Isaac, and the power of Jacob. And Moses hid his face, for he was afraid to look upon the Most High. And the Most High said, I have surely seen the affliction of my people, which are in Egypt, and have heard their cry by reason of their taskmasters, for I know their sorrows. He says, what? I have seen the affliction of my people. That's who he said he's seen the affliction of. He didn't say I seen the affliction of all the people. He didn't say I seen the affliction of everybody in Egypt. He said, I have seen the affliction of my people. Well, who is his people? Let's jump down to the book, same book, right, of Exodus chapter 3, right? And let's read verse number 10, right? And it says what? Come now, therefore, and I will send thee unto Pharaoh, that thou mayest bring forth my people, the children of Israel, out of Egypt. Right? So he said, he's telling Moses, I'm going to send you to bring my people, the children of Israel, out of Egypt. It didn't say that I was going to bring all the people out of Israel, out of the land of Egypt. It said my people. I'm sending you to get my people. And we just proved that the Lord's people is what? The children of Israel. So it's got to be dealing with the people the Lord told Moses that he was going to bring out of Egypt. You can't kind of add people in there because of words. You got to listen to what the Lord says. You got to follow what the Lord says. The Lord says, what? I'm sending you to bring my people out, man. Right? And let's get another precept. Let's go to the book. And let's just say for some odd reason, there was a mixed multitude of nations that the Lord brought out, which I don't believe. But let's say that's the case. Right? Let's cover that. Let's see what's going on with that, right? Let's go to Exodus chapter 24. It's the book of Exodus chapter 24 and verse. I'm gonna jump to verse 4. Exodus 24 and verse 4. And Moses wrote all the words of the Most High, and rose up early in the morning, and builded an altar unto the hill, and 12 pillars according to the 12 tribes of Israel. This will be after the Exodus, right? And he sent young men of the children of Israel, and offered burnt offerings and sacrifices, peace offerings of oxen unto the Most High. And Moses took half of the blood and put it in the basins, and half of the blood he sprinkled unto the altar. And he took the book of the covenant. So this is dealing with the covenant. Let's see if the mixed multitude got the covenant. We already hear that this is dealing with Israel. The blood is being sprinkled on who? Israel, man. If you don't have the blood, you don't have the covenant. Let's read on. Half of the blood is sprinkled on the altar, and he took the book of the covenant and read in the audience of the people. And they said, all that the Most High have said, we will do, and be obedient. And Moses took the blood and sprinkled it on the people, and said, behold, the blood of the covenant, which the Most High have made with you concerning all these words. Right? Then went up Moses and Aaron and Nadab and Ehud and 70 of the elders of Israel. And they saw the power of Israel, and there was under his feet, as it were paved, work of a sapphire stone, and as it were the body of heaven in his cleanliness. Man. So that's plain upon tables. So after they left Egypt, the covenant was established with who? With Israel, man. So even if you want to, by some odd way, say, you know what, hey, I still kind of think that there was a mixed multitude of people there, a mixed multitude, right, that left Egypt, right? Well, the covenant ain't with them, man. So it wouldn't matter. And let's cover one other point on that. Let's go to something else that further show you that it doesn't matter. Let's say that there's a mixed multitude that left Egypt, and there are other nations. Let's say that. Let's go to the book of Numbers, chapter 14. Right? It's the book of Numbers, chapter 14, and verse where I want to go. I'm going to go to Numbers verse 14 of chapter 14 and verse number 27. Oh, this is mean too. First, I'm gonna read this first. I'm gonna jump back, right? This is Numbers chapter 14 and verse 27. How long shall I bear with this evil congregation which murmur against me? I have heard the murmurings of the children of Israel, which they murmur against me. He said the murmurings of the children of Israel that murmured against him, right? Let's go to Numbers chapter 11 and verse 1, right? This is the book of Numbers, chapter 11 and verse 1. And when the people complained, it displeased the Most High, and the Lord heard it, and his anger was kindled. And the fire of the Most High burnt among them, and consumed them that were in the uttermost parts of the camp. And the people cried unto Moses, and when Moses prayed unto the Most High, the fire was quenched. And he called the name of the place Taberah, because of the fire of the Lord burnt among them. And the mixed multitude that was among them fell a lusting, and the children of Israel also wept again, and said, who shall give us flesh to eat? So it says the mixed multitude that was among them fell a lusting. But when you read up, it tells you what? The people that were murmuring and lusting was who? The children of Israel, right? Now, let's say, once again, let's say it's a separation. Let's say that there's a mixed multitude there. Let's go with that. Let's go with that. Let's see if the children, if the mixed multitude, let's see if they made it into the kingdom, or not the kingdom, into the land. Let's find out, right? Because mind you, they left Egypt and were in the wilderness 40 years. So remember that point, and let's go and let's read on. This is the book of Numbers, chapter 14, right? And verse number, I'm gonna read back, number 27. How long shall I bear with this evil congregation which murmur against me? I have heard the murmurings of the children of Israel, right, which they murmured against me. Why is it the Lord only says, the murmurings of the children of Israel, but he don't say of the mixed multitude, which we just read in Numbers chapter 11, right, that the mixed multitude literally were numbered among them, right? Let's read on. It says what? Say unto them, as I surely live, saith the Lord, as ye have spoken in mine ears, so will I do to you. Your carcasses shall fall in the wilderness, and all that were numbered of you according to your whole number, from 20 years old and upward, which have murmured against me. Well, what? The mixed multitude, they would have left with Egypt. They would have been far older than what? 20 years old. And it says what? Save who? Let's read on. Doubtless you shall not come into the land concerning which I swear to make you dwell therein, save Caleb the son of Jephunneh and Joshua the son of Nun. Right? Joshua the son of Nun. Right? So the only people to literally leave, right, from Egypt and make it into the land, right, with Joshua and Caleb that were older than 20 years old, man. All those so-called mixed multitudes, hey, they would have had to die out in the wilderness anyway. If they're not Israelites, they wouldn't have made it. They would have had to die out in the wilderness because there's only 2 adults that made it out: Joshua and Caleb. So even if we want to, if you want to slice it that way, it's like I said, I don't understand it to be that they're a different nation when you just look at the precepts. And like I said, even if they are so-called a different nation, the covenant is only with who? It's only with Israel. So it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter if there was Moabites in there. It wouldn't matter if there was Elamites in there. It wouldn't matter if there was Edomites in there. It wouldn't matter if there was Ishmaelites in there. It wouldn't matter because the covenant was only literally with Israel. So even if you want to go about it that route and say that there were other nations, which I don't believe it to be so, but I could be wrong. I don't know it all, right? The precepts still show you who the covenant was with. So you still got to deal with who the covenant was with. Just because they left Egypt does not mean they're going to get salvation. Rahab the harlot was saved from death, right, in Jericho. That don't mean she's going to get salvation. Her and her family just didn't die in that moment. So that doesn't amount to salvation, man. Just because you don't die immediately, right? It's the promise and the covenant is made to one people, man, and you can't add unto that, right? Let's get that real quick, and then we'll move on. I'll cover one more misunderstanding, and then I'll close out, man. And Lord willing, I'll do a part 2 within the next day or so, man. Let's go to the book of Galatians, just to get that the seed is to one, man. Right, it's the book of Galatians, chapter 3, right? And I'm gonna start at verse 15. Brethren, I speak after the manner of men, though it be but a man's covenant, yet if it be confirmed, no man disannulleth or added thereto. Right? So you can't disannul the covenant the Lord has made or add to. Right, let me see if I can get one more real quick. See if I can remember this precept. It's been a long time since I pulled it in the book of Jeremiah. Let me see if I can find it. Right. Bear with me. It's been a minute since I pulled this precept. It's one of my favorite precepts, but sometimes they say if you don't use it, you lose it, man. And I ain't used it in a while. It might be 33. I want to see Jeremiah 33 and 35, I think it is. Is 35 and 33 or 33 and 35? Yeah, it can't be 33 and 35. Let's go 35 and 33. Hope it ain't that neither. Bear with me. Bear with me. Bear with me. Hold on. Hold on. Con, this is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 31, right? And verse number 35. Thus saith the Most High, which giveth the sun for a light by day, and the ordinances of the moon and of the stars for a light by night, which divideth the sea when the waves thereof roar. The Most High of hosts, well, I'm going to say that Yahweh of hosts is his name. If those ordinances depart from me, saith the Most High, then the seed of Israel also shall cease from being a nation before me forever. Right? Read on. Thus saith the Most High, if heaven above can be measured, and the foundations of the earth searched out beneath, I will also cast off all the seed of Israel for all that they have done, saith the Most High. Right? The Lord is literally telling you what? He said what? If heaven above can be measured and the foundations of the earth searched out beneath, you would literally have to number heaven, measure heaven, in order to get Israel cast off, man. You would have to measure heaven. So when people say, "Oh, Israel, they were cast off because they broke the commandments," the Lord is saying by his prophet that in order for that to actually happen, you would have to measure heaven and number the beneath, man. And you ain't gonna be able to do it, man. You can't do it. He's saying it ain't gonna happen. He didn't say the Israel and the mixed multitude, man. This was given to Israel, man. You can't take away our promises. Esau, I know you want to do it. Jake, with your coon nature, I know you want to do it, man. You can't take away our promises, man. You can't. You can't have them. You can't take them away. It's not gonna happen, right? It's not gonna happen, man. Right? Let's get one more, man. Let's get one more misconception, and then I'm gonna wind down, close it out. All right. Let's go to the book. This is a good one. Let's go to the book of Matthew. And I'm just doing this through the spirit. I ain't writing anything down. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm everywhere, it's a lock it. I'm just doing it through the spirit. The spirit told me to do a video. I'm doing a video. Right? And all praise to the Most High, man. I feel good. Like it's been, I went almost a year without doing videos, man. I don't know what was going on. But all praise to the Most High. The water for anybody that pray for me, man. You know what I'm saying? It's the book of Matthew, chapter 15, right? And I'm gonna read from verse 21. I gotta go to this, right? Then Yahushua went thence and departed into the coast of Tyre and Zidon, and behold, a woman of Canaan came out of the same coast and cried unto him, saying, "Have mercy on me, O Yahweh, thou on me, O Lord." So like me, O Lord, O Adawan, thou son of David, my daughter is grievously vexed with a devil. But he answered her not a word. And his disciples came and besought him, saying, "Send her away, for she cried after us." But he answered her and said, "I am not sent, but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel." Now, Israelites, right? Israelites, right? They literally, we stop right here. We always like to stop right here. You know what I'm saying? And there's some Christians that know the verse. They say, keep reading, keep reading, keep reading. Right? So let's keep reading. It says what? And she said, so like then came she and worshipped him, saying, "Lord, help me." But he answered and said, "It is not meet to take the children's bread and cast it to the dogs." Right? Israelites like to stop right there too. And then the Christians say, keep reading, keep reading, keep reading. Just keep reading. And it says what? Then Yahushua answered and said unto her, "O woman, great is thy faith. Be it unto thee even as thou wilt." And her daughter was made whole from that very hour. So, you see, she healed her daughter. He healed her daughter. One, that does not mean salvation. Two, what did she do? She accepted her place as a dog and accepted a piece of the crumbs, man. Getting the crumbs is not the same as getting the whole meal. If I'm damn eating a meal, I got a whole feast right here, and I kind of pass some crumbs down to my dog, Is my dog getting the same amount that I'm getting? No. You're getting the scraps. You're getting the leftovers. You're getting what I don't want anymore, right? So these nations, they have got to accept their place as a dog. It said, the nation that will not serve thee, even that nation will I perish. So they have to serve us to stay alive. You got to eat the crumbs to be fed of some sort, man. That's not the same thing as getting salvation. That just means, hey, if you decide to serve us, right, and worship us, right, then what? And worship our God, then what? You get to live, man. But you getting the crumbs. It's not you getting what we get. You're not a ruler because rulers don't get crumbs. When we was slaves, right? Well, we still slaves. When we was slaves working in the field, right? Did we get the same meal that the so-called white man got inside the house, or did we get the slop? We got the slop. We had to fall at his feet, do everything he told us to do, take a whip to our back, do everything he told us to do in order to get what? Crumbs to stay alive. That's what's going on here. She admitted to herself being a dog and said, "Hey, I just want the crumbs," right? And at that time, for her, that's so great faith because the nations, a nation at that time, only a few nations knew. Oh, this is the one. This is the one. That's Yahweh Shai, right? Let's get a precept to prove that, though. Right? Let's go to Isaiah. In fact, first let's go to Nehemiah. So like Zechariah. Right? Let's go to Zechariah. Real quick. This is the book of Zechariah, right? Chapter 8 and verse 22. Yeah, many people and strong nations shall come to seek the Most High of hosts in Jerusalem and pray before the Most High. Thus saith the Most High of hosts, in those days it shall come to pass that 10 men shall take the hold of all languages of the nations, even shall take hold of the skirt of him that is a Jew, saying, we will go with you, for we have heard that the Most High is with you. It said take the skirt, man. That's kind of like when you're a kid and your child don't want you to go somewhere and they holding on to your leg and you kind of got to drag them by with your leg because they won't let you go. It's the same. That's what it's going into. They're going to hold on to us, man. They're going to cleave. Hey, let me go with you. That's taking the scraps. Whatever I got to do, let me go with you. Right? Let's go to Isaiah. Right? Matter of fact, I'm here at Micah. Let me go to Micah first. It's the book of Micah, chapter 4 and verse 1. But in the last days it shall come to pass that the mountain of the house of the Most High shall be established at the top of the mountains, and it shall be exalted above the hills, and the people shall flow unto it. And nations shall come and say, come, let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, and to the house of the power of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For the law shall go forth of Zion, and the word of the Most High from Jerusalem, man. Right? And it says what? And he shall judge among many people and rebuke strong nations afar off. And they shall beat their swords into plowshares. So they're going to beat their weapons of war into plowshares. So what are they going to be doing? They're going to be working. They're going to be doing the work the same way we was working in the fields, picking the cotton, doing the plow work, damn sowing, damn everything we was doing. Now they got to do that. And when we was doing that, what were we getting? We were getting the slops. And they gave us the unclean slops, man. They gave us the unclean crumbs. They gave us the pig intestines, man. And you call it chitlins, man. That's what it's talking about in Matthew 15 and 24. She's accepting her role. Saying, hey, I know I'm a dog. Hey, I know I'm a slave. I know I'm beneath you. But I'll take that. Just heal my daughter. Let me be part with you in some kind of a way. And it says what? Into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn of war anymore, man. Right? So they're not gonna learn of war. But hey, all they're gonna be doing is what? Damn, working in the fields, man. They're gonna be working in the fields. They're gonna get the scraps, man. That's not salvation. just because you get the scraps does not equal to the feast. The Lord is giving Israel the feast, man. Hey, we getting the damn rack of lamb ribs, man. We getting the damn T-bone and ribeye, man. And they getting the scraps, man. Except for it's gonna be lawful scraps, right? They gonna get the cow tail, man. The oxen tail, man. Right? Not the damn, you know what oxtail. Salaki. So I got a phone call. Right? Oxtail's kind of good. So maybe not the oxtail, man. Maybe cow stomach or something. They'll get the cow stomach or something, man. I don't know, man. Right? Hey, pigeon is lawful. Let them get the pigeon. You know? We'll eat the turkey and the chicken. They can get the pigeon, man. You know? They get pigeon legs or something. But they can't have a feast. Right? Let me give one more precept on that. Let's go to Isaiah 14 because it lines up with Isaiah 14. Right? And I'm gonna get Psalms first. Right? Let me get Psalms. Right? Look what the Lord told you, Yahushua. It's a classic precept, and we always read over it. Psalms chapter 110, right? And verse 1. The Lord said unto my Lord, right? The Most High said unto Yahushua, sit thou at my right hand until I make thy enemies thy footstool, man. What is a footstool? Right? You ever seen, there's pictures out there right now where you can see the so-called white man. He have a so-called black man in slavery on all fours, and he's literally putting his feet on him, man. I've seen one where they had 4 so-called black men all together, right, on all fours, and they were eating on them like a table. So if the Lord is telling Yahushua, hey, I'm going to make your enemies your footstool, how in the hell are they getting the portion with us, man? Is the Lord lying to Yahushua? Is a footstool getting salvation, man? No. It means you're under his foot, as the nations will be under the feet of Israel, man. That's not salvation. But you accept this. You have to accept this lest you die. Yeah, man. It's for resting your feet. You know? And you might need to rest your feet after putting your foot in the nation's ass all day if they messing up in the field, man. Right? Let me get this last one in Isaiah. Right? Classic as well. Right? And it's, man, so many, it's not even funny, man. Isaiah 2 is one, man. Right? That's not even the one I wanted, but through the Spirit, let's get it, man. Right? It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 2 and verse 2. And it's the same as Micah. And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Most High's house shall be established in the top of the mountains. Meaning it's going to be above all the other mountains, which is talking about nations. These mountains represent nations. It's saying it's going to be above all the other nations, man. So Israel is going to be established above all other nations. That's hierarchy. That means you're not the same. You have a hierarchy. There's a hierarchy, right? And it says what? And it says what? Shall be established in the top of the mountains and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. And many people shall go and say, come ye and let us go up to the mountain of the Most High, to the house of the power of Jacob, right? And he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word out of the Lord of Jerusalem. And he shall judge among them. The same exact thing he told Micah. Is the Lord doing false prophecies to 2 prophets? No. Right? So you got to line these things up. You got to line these things up with the fact of what happened with Yahushua, man. Right? So it says what? And he shall judge among the nations and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. O house of Jacob, come ye and let us walk in the light of the Most High. Right? Jacob is going to walk in the light of the Most High. Jacob is going to get the clear knowledge and understanding, man. That's Revelation chapter 21. Revelation chapter 22 and verse 1, man. Jacob is going to get that clear knowledge and understanding. These nations got to come to Jacob, Israel, to get the knowledge and understanding. Right? Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 1, classic precept, man, lines up perfectly with everything that happened in Matthew 15 and 24. It says what? For the Most High will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. And the strangers, these strangers, right? Context, these strangers are other nations. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. Cleaving. That's what the woman was doing. She was cleaving, right? That's what's happening in Zechariah by grabbing the skirt of him that is a Jew. They're cleaving. Just let me come. What I got to do to come, right? It says what? It says, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Most High for servants and handmaids. And they shall take them captives, who captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. And it shall come to pass in the day that the Most High shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear and from thy hard bondage wherein thou hast made thy to serve. Right? And that's plain upon tables, man. Right? Rest from thy sorrows, man. Right? And from thy hard bondage. It says you shall rule over your oppressors. Right? So what? The Canaanite woman, what? The Canaanites, we were oppressed by the damn Hamites, man, at times, man. We were oppressed by the damn Hamites, man. One of the biggest people that oppressed us the most around the time of King Saul, right, was who? The Philistines. Hamites. Canaanites, man. Right? So this Canaanite woman was of those nations, man. And what? She cleaved unto the house of Jacob and accepted her place as a dog, man. And said, hey, I'm going to serve you. She worshiped. So what? She got crumbs, man. That doesn't mean she's going to get salvation. So with that, Lord willing, somebody was edified or will be edified in the coming days. We about to start Sabbath service. Shalom.